Category 7, and you're listening to That Metal Interview.
That Metal Interview.
And we welcome you once more to the best rock metal podcast on the whole planet. Anyways, we have a very special guest once more. This guy is a very requested, an extremely requested musician, guitar player should I say, and sometimes bass, as he talks about it. I'm speaking of Phil Demmel of several bands that you might have heard of him being in. Right now he is a part of the Kerry King band. Kerry King, of course, of Slayer, legendary guitar player, and he's also a member of a new super group, I want to say, a band by the name of Category 7. I'll leave that as your homework to see who's in that super group. Some musicians do not like to call it super group. Some don't want to call it all-star group. I guess it's just a band with a bunch of famous rock stars or metal stars. But anyways, we have Phil Demmel, formerly of Violence, formerly of Machine Head, and currently of the Kerry King band and Category 7. And I will present to you, as I always do, Category 7's newest single and music video by the name of Mousetrap. We'll be right back. self-titled Category 7 album dropping July 26th of this year, 2024. And don't forget to pre-order the album. It totally kicks ass. I got to listen to it. And also they have, of course, many people know, James Hetfield of Metallica has given the band's sound props and praises in a comment on the Metallica podcast. The mighty Hetfield has given a thumbs up to Category 7. And our guest for this episode of That Metal Interview is Phil Demmel of Category 7 and the Kerry King Band. And let's cut it short. Let's go directly to the interview with the great Phil Demmel. Enjoy. So first question I ask everybody, where are you? What part of the planet?
I live in Northern California, east of Oakland.
Very cool. So Category 7 debut record dropping July 26th. How's the reception so far?
It's been super positive. Yeah, it's been really good. We're all really stoked on all the positive feedback. It's been really, really positive.
For sure. It's an awesome songs that we've heard so far. Awesome singles and videos.
Thank you.
Yes. Before we get into the record,
Thank you.
take us back to your beginnings, Phil. How did you first start in the music business, or when did you first pick up a guitar, I guess?
Oh man, this was probably late 70s. I loved Kiss. I loved getting into rock. I loved all music, basically. Through the early days, I was into disco. I was into all kinds of music. I didn't know that there was different genres or whatever. I just knew that there was just songs. And then started breaking down into more of the hard rock stuff, AC/DC, Ted Nugent, Aerosmith.
Nice.
Got into Kiss. Got into Priest. Got into AC/DC and Priest, and that moved me into Maiden. I picked up a guitar because I knew I wanted to perform. I tried drums, but it was just too much stuff. So I saw and heard Angus Young play. So that moved me towards guitar, just because he was able to express his emotions so much through the guitar. And so started playing guitar, started learning Priest songs, started learning AC/DC songs, and then Maiden came around, got into Maiden a bunch, formed a band in high school. I was 15, so 82, we go see Maiden, Number of the Beast tour, Scorpions Blackout tour, and start writing original music. We start playing local clubs. Zet from Exodus was my band. Recruited him to be in his first band, so he sang with us, first band ever, and started playing clubs, getting into heavier music, getting into Metallica, getting into Slayer, formed Violence when I was in high school in 85, started playing locally clubs, Metallica, the Bay Area scene was booming at that time, and Violence gets signed, so, here we are, we're in the music industry, and it just kind of took off from there.
So are you self-taught, or did you take some classes from someone, or?
No, I took some lessons early on, mostly self-taught. Took some lessons for a bit. It's funny that one of my first teachers is Ryan Roxy, who is an Alice Cooper, and we just recently did some shows with them, and it was, crazy after all these years, 45 years later, or whatever it is, 40 years later. Here we are playing in, where were we? We were in Grasspop in Belgium, playing in front of tens of thousands of people, and look at us these 40 years later, man, pretty crazy.
Wow. Life goes by quick, huh?
It does.
So what keeps you going every morning, Phil? What keeps you going here? What's your inspiration here? You wake up in the morning, you pick up your phone or your guitar, and you know what? I got to head out on tour. What inspires you here? What keeps you going?
Oh man, I've got 3 kids here, so and a wife that we own a business. We own a bar here in my hometown of Dublin, California.
Cool.
So there's always something going on. We all have, she's in a band called Bleeding Through. Okay. So she has her new stuff. We do a cover band at home made up of all our friends and family here in a community. We just did a show here yesterday. So we're playing 40 cover tunes with 30 of our best friends and family, and the kids, 3, 8, and 18 now, keeping them doing their stuff. And love of music for me, it is really, at my age now, I just want to play music with people I enjoy being around.
Yeah.
And enjoy creating with. So that's the main criteria. Can't be in toxic environments anymore.
Yeah.
And so being around people that I enjoy creating with and spending that time with. Any time away from my family has to be quality and has to be justified by, those pieces, those of criteria. So
Understood. That makes sense. Yep. So you say your wife plays with Bleeding Through. Wow.
Yep, plays keyboards, has been in the band since like 2002.
Oh, wow.
2000.
Well, I didn't know that. Wow. I should have researched them more.
That's okay.
So how is it being married to another rock star, a professional musician? A professional musician.
It is. She's an amazing musician, singer, plays piano. She's played bass with us in the cover band too, and she just has this great knowledge of music that I learn from her every day. And a strong, independent woman. Pretty much runs our business. So I couldn't ask for a better partner in life. So it's she plays heavier music than I do. She headbangs harder than I do. She's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I saw an interview where you spoke of I think I want to say your last gig with Machine Head, and she was in the crowd having a good time and headbanging and this and that, right? So wow, that's a cool wife.
Yeah, she was in the pit. The whole deal. Yeah, that was the night. She ended up throwing up a bunch, and
wow, awesome.
Good times.
Cool. So I got a fan question here real quick. Ernie from San Antonio, Texas. He says, regarding Category 7, I would like to know who called who and whose idea was it to get together, because the sound is amazing.
It was a mutual thing. Me and Jason Bittner were playing in Overkill at the time, and we did a show, and we went to meet a couple of our friends, Corey Pierce from God Forbid and Mike Orlando from Adrenaline Mob were in the area, so they came and we had some drinks at a bar in New Jersey, and just kind of threw out the drunk talk, hey, we should write some music and we should do something, and we ended up sticking to it, making it happen.
Wow, just like that.
We all, yeah, and then we once we decided that we were serious about it, like the following days, we said, let's get a list of singers and bass players that we want. And at the top of all of our vocalist list was John Bush, so I felt comfortable enough in giving him a call and reaching out, and he was into seeing what we had, so we sent him some music. He was into it, and we just kind of snowballed it from there. He kept writing more, and here we are.
Yeah, so that's one of my questions. Who's the lyricist, and who came up with most of the riffs?
John Bush wrote all the lyrics and all the vocals. Most of the riffs were written by Mike Orlando. I would say maybe 70% of the riffs, 65, 35, somewhere around there, I don't know. And Mike did a lot of the arranging. So I'd say the bulk of the songwriting was by Mike. He recorded us. I recorded at home, but everybody else went to Staten Island, recorded with him, and he mixed it, he mastered it. Mike is the champion of Category 7. He's our MVP.
So I understand he produced the record, right? How did you guys decide on that? You know what? Let's pick this guy here, or how did he come to the picture?
Well, he has his own studio. That's what he does for a living. The demo sounded amazing, and we just, he wanted to do it, and we liked what we heard, so kept it all in house. There you go.
Yeah, he's great. It sounds great too. The whole record is awesome.
I'm glad you like it. Thank you.
So how about the name? Category 7. I understand that's a term used for hurricanes, right? Category 5. And
Yeah.
how about the name? Who came up with that?
Well, I mean, the name is a tricky thing with any band. You know, trying to find a name is super difficult. And I think that we had all submitted. I think we were all of the mind that we wanted to have 5 incorporated because there was 5 of us. So we thought Category 5, you know, but that was taken. I was thinking Mach 5, you know, Speed Racer, but that was taken too, or something with 5, and it didn't happen. There's a bunch of other shitty names we threw around that nobody liked. And this came up. Mike was all, "What about Category 7? It's this, you know, the strongest storm. It'll wipe out the world." And then we're all, well, for me, and I think it was kind of the consensus was like, "Hey, I don't hate it. You know, it's not horrible."
Yeah.
So
Right.
it was the one that we all would all agree that, you know, if it had to be that, then that's okay if it's that. And it just got to be such a drawn out process. It was like, let's just go with this.
So I'm getting the puzzle here together. I guess Mike and Jason, they kind of wrote the whole deal by themselves, and you guys joined in somehow, somewhere.
No, me and Mike wrote the riffs,
Okay.
and we started writing riffs, and started going back and forth. And Mike was demoing and he was programming drums to it all. So Jason was getting the tracks early on, and then he ended up recording his own drums to him later on. But me and Mike came up with the riffs and wrote the songs. There was one song, Through Pink Eyes, that I flew back east because I wanted to be in the room with these guys before we started recording the record. I wanted us to be in a room and see if we had that chemistry jamming together. I didn't want us just to be all remote and, you know, kind of mailing shit in. I wanted to get in a room with everybody.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and we ended up. I had some riffs that I came up with. I had some, you know, and we started jamming on them, and we fleshed out a whole song while I was there. And that's Through Pink Eyes was the one song that was written with the 3 of us in the same room.
Nice. So here is a typical question: which is your favorite track here?
I'm always partial to Exhausted. It's
Yeah.
it's got everything for me. It's got it's a heavy riff. It goes into this wide open, awesome John Bush chorus that's catchy as fuck.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple of little solo snippets that me and Mike do, and then we get together on this huge harmony trade-off, harmony again into, you know, killer Mike riff. I think Mike wrote all the music to this one, except for like I wrote one harmony line. I think, but I think I'm partial to that song. I always say that one's my favorite.
So how did it feel when you found out James Hetfield commented on, you know, giving the band praises and the music, the material? How did that feel?
It was pretty cool because a day or two before, maybe a few days before, I have a buddy in Holland. We were just starting the Kerry King tour, and he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, I saw James yesterday. He said he really likes the Category 7 to let you know." I'm all, "Oh man, are you serious?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm not bold." I thought he was, you know, lying or just taking the piss. But he said, "No, actually, he really does." And then that podcast came out, and it was cool to hear his story. How it wasn't, you know, like somebody didn't give him the thing. He heard it on the radio. He heard it, you know, the old school way. Hey, I heard this song on the radio, and it turns out, you know, he recognized John Bush's voice, of course, and as we all do, and, you know, likes the track, so it's fucking cool.
For sure. Awesome comments there from another rock star. So the $1 million question: will we see you guys on the road sometime?
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking for a window. Kerry's my priority. I committed to Kerry 5 years ago, and I need to honor that commitment. So we're looking for holes and windows to fill with Category 7, and we're gonna get it out there for sure.
Okay, so you mentioned five-year-old commitment here. So that's when Kerry contacted you, huh?
Yeah, we had. I had been in contact with Kerry since 18, since I jammed with him,
With Slayer, yeah.
and so I was told in 2019 that he wanted to be part of what he was doing next, and so it was a slow roll getting everything together and new label for him and writing the record, recording. It's been a long process. So in the meantime, I've been doing did violent stuff, I did Lamb of God stuff, I did Testament stuff, I did bunch of stuff in between. So here we are. Kerry's fired up, and this is kicking off a few months after.
Right, awesome. So I understand you helped out Slayer in 18, give or take 2018. From one day to the next, you had to learn about 19 songs, you said. How did you pull that off, man? I mean, come on. 19 songs. I know we're all Slayer fans, but were there any songs in there that you had to sit down and kind of
Oh, I had to completely immerse myself in it, because on Saturday night I played my last show with Metallica, with Machine Head.
Yeah.
And Sunday I get the text from Kerry. So I told him, send me the set list right now. I need every possible minute to.
Right.
So he does, and like I said, my wife got all fucked up at that Machine Head show, so I'm taking care of her the next day, and then Monday is I'm picking up all my gear from Machine Head because it's divorce day. I'm going to pick up all my stuff from here, and then on Tuesday I'm on a flight, so I had maybe a couple hours at home to work on a couple of songs. And so on the flight over, I was just listening over and over and over, sketching things out, making notes on this, and a lot of the songs I was familiar with how they went. I didn't know them, how to play them.
Yeah.
But there was other songs that I hadn't heard before, so wasn't that familiar for anything really after Seasons. So a lot of there's songs like Jihad that just have weird parts in them, and some of the other songs were kind of easier, When the Stillness Comes or whatever like that. Some of them were easier because they're basic structures, but a lot of it was just, oh my God, I have to do this. There's only one way out of here. It's piece by piece. So I have to do this, and was able to. I've got a knack for remembering some things. I would used to do the Machine Head meet and greets and try to remember. We do 30 people a day, and I would try to remember everybody's name as they came through the line and signed their stuff. So then when I went back and took pictures with them, I'd try to, get their names right, just as a brain exercise. And I would go 27, 28 out of 30 most days. And so I've just got a weird strong short-term memory.
So you flew, and on the plane you were cramming songs into your head, this and that. Did you guys have a small rehearsal before, or did you just jump on stage like that, or?
No, there was no rehearsal. When I got there, my guitars didn't show up. Uh-oh. So the day that I had to work on songs was I borrowed a guitar from Kerry, but it was in drop B, so the tuning's way off. I had to transpose everything that I was learning on that day up a step and a half, so it's not even in the right spot.
Oh wow.
I was able to shadow for a couple of days, watch Gary play a couple shows.
Okay.
And watched him play a couple shows just to get in where the pyro spots are, get the flow of the show. And so my first show was in Denmark, and we played two songs. I wanted to play Repentless because it's the first song of the show. I wanted to have that feel for the first song. And then I think we played Chemical Warfare.
Nice.
So I played two songs before I jammed on stage with them.
No pressure.
No.
So, fast forward to 2024, the Kerry King band. How is it working with Kerry? Is he this evil guy sitting on a throne on a mountain, or is he like a down-to-earth guy?
No, I don't see Kerry as an evil guy at all.
Yeah.
I think I see Kerry as maybe misunderstood. I mean, everybody's got their thing. He's not a perfect dude by any, but I think that he's kind of misunderstood. I think he's a caring person, like he is, like, to his band. He's looking out for us. Like, hey, is this cool? Or he's open to any ideas. He's got a vision, and he knows his songs, and he knows how he wants his product to be represented. But he's not in any way some super controlling dude.
Yeah.
It's been awesome with all 4 dudes. We spent a month together, and it was fucking great. And every day we get better as a group, and playing with some talented dudes and enjoying it.
Yeah, you're just a requested musician, very requested. Overkill, Lamb of God, Testament. How are those gigs right there? If you can point out a memory or something, a highlight from any of those 3 experiences.
Well, the first thing I did, actually, it was only a couple of shows, was a band called Non-Point.
Okay.
Where they needed somebody to fill in, and that was fun for me because I really love the band and I love the dudes. And we played some fun shows on the West Coast, played Vegas, and and I love the dudes and hanging out with them. It was a good time. And so filling in for Non-Point was something kind of a little bit different. They're not, they're a heavy band, but not quite the the thrash pedigree that I come from. And so pulling off that gig was pretty fun. And then doing the Overkill thing, it was, I'd known Bobby. I was in band, I'm in a project with Bobby called BPMD.
BPMD, yeah.
And so, me and Bob been in a band. I've already done business with Bobby. And but at the same time, at Violence back home, Bobby Gustafson was in the band. So I got asked to fill in, and I was kind of torn, and I asked Bobby G, if it was all right, and he seemed to express that he'd be cool with it, doing this one show. And so, playing those songs, I'm being a West Coast guy, so I'm playing East Coast thrash pretty much for the first time, and learning that language and being around those dudes. And I had a good time with Overkill. It was a good time playing those shows with those guys, and playing with Bittner, and hanging out with Bob and Dee Dee, and it was a good time.
Yeah, legends.
Derek, the other guitar player, was a character and a great dude to be around. Jumping into Lamb of God was that was a tall order, because they speak a different language than I'm used to. So learning that stuff. At least I had, they approached me before the very first metal tour of the year, so it's before the first leg of the Megadeth tour. And they said, just, it's right when everything was opening up, everybody was testing every day, everybody's masked, everybody's, so they were, I'll learn both sides. So I learned Mark and Willie's sides, both sides, just in case something, went down. Fortunately it didn't. But I'd learned the tunes at that point. So by the time it came around the second time, and Willie, they were going to need somebody for Willie's spot, I was ready. And I always thought, for some reason, I just thought it was going to be Mark's side that I was going to have to. So I put more emphasis. I mean, there's solos and more involved with that. So, and he's sat out before. He's had people fill in before, and so doing that was awesome. The dudes they treated me so well, and I felt so welcome in that camp. And tremendous band, just great fucking band. And, having art there and hanging with the dudes was really good. They treated me really well. And then fast forward to where John, they approached me about playing bass, because John had to go home for a few days.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I could do it, and we have a bass here at the studio at home, and so I got on it and figured out the pick to use and a different style of picking. Kind of the head feel, 2 fingers and the thumb, picking a little bit stronger picking style, and I felt like I could do it. So I told them, and I said, yeah, I can do it. So they flew me out to Vegas for the first day of rehearsals for that tour, because I wanted to play through the rig and make sure that, hey, jam with them a couple songs and make sure that it was good. And so I got there, and Carlos, the tech, had me the bass. Nobody really knew I was there yet, from front of house or whatever. And so I started playing, and Brian, the front of house guy, got back and said, hey, what happened to the bass tone? It's got a lot more gain and the levels up, or something like that. So that made me feel good. It's just like, all right, I'm pulling it off. I can, talk like a bass player. I can, you know.
Wow, that's a whole.
And have,
That's different, huh? Yep.
yeah. And the Testament thing. Oh my God. So, Violence was playing the Milwaukee Metal Fest on a Thursday. Testament needed somebody for Friday the next day, and we determined that I could leave Milwaukee, catch a flight in Chicago, which is an hour away. So this is what I did. Violence gets done at 7:30 on Thursday night. I bolt right from the stage, go to a buddy's car that's waiting for me outside, takes me still soaking wet from the gig. We drive an hour to Chicago. I catch a flight. Connection's delayed a little bit. I get into Germany by Saturday. They're headlining the Rock Hard Festival. The van gets me there 45 minutes before they're going on.
Wow.
So I have not played, I'm walking to the stage, getting in my stage clothes, talking to Eric about how the songs go together. I know the set list, but I don't know how they transition. Some songs go together. Oh yeah, this one's a 4 count, then you do triplet here, and then so I'm making these mental notes on the way to the fucking stage. And we go up and I sit in Alex's stead, and pretty crazy. But that was a good run too. They treated me great. Me and Eric locked in really good, and everybody was stoked with what I did with them. Obviously, I'm not Alex Skolnick. I'm not going to play his leads exactly like he does. So, but I think that everybody was happy with what I did. So,
wow,
that's a proud moment.
Wow, some big shoes to fill too with Alex. Well, you're a badass yourself, of course, but he has his own language, I guess. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, Alex is his own, and he even said, it's like, hey, don't expect it to be me. It's going to be my interpretation.
Yeah.
So,
wow, awesome experiences, incredible. So you mentioned a BPMD with Bobby. Give us an update on that. What's going on there?
We're figuring it out. We're coming off of the release. We released a record in the quarantine last time, so we're trying to figure out what we're going to do next. And I love the record. I love what we did. I'm super proud of my playing on that. It's the first time I tracked on a fixed bridge guitar, so there's a lot of blues solos on that record. So most of that, except for the Van Halen record, or the Van Halen song, was recorded on a fixed bridge. So proud of my playing, proud of the songs, proud of what we did. So I have nothing really to report on BPMD right now.
So when you play live here in the future with Category 7, will it be a different a rig on stage than Kerry King's band, or what do you plan to use there?
I'm using my quad Cortex even with Kerry.
Okay.
I've got my quad Cortex running through some Seymour Duncan power stations, and we send it to the cabinets on stage. I used it at my little cover gig yesterday too. So my rig is my rig. It's the size of a lunchbox and goes with me everywhere. So yeah, I'll be using that with Category 7 for sure.
Technology, huh? No more giant Marshall heads and.
No.
So what's before we let you go, Phil? What's on your agenda here? What's next for you and your plans here?
2 weeks from yesterday, we go out with Kerry King. We start the Lamb of God Mastodon Malevolence tour in the United States.
Awesome. So hopefully we'll see you in Texas soon. I'm in Texas, so I'll catch you sometime on the road.
In Texas, we start in Texas.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'll be there for sure. Awesome.
All right, very good.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, man.
Keep rocking, man. Thank you. Don't forget to go out and support Kerry King Band and be on the lookout for live performances from Category 7, the all-star group, frontman John Bush, Jason Bittner of Overkill, Jack Gibson of Exodus, Mike Orlando, and of course Phil Demmel, as I am missing some members here. But go out and support them. Category 7 pre-order. Great thrash metal album if you're into thrash metal. This is right up your alley. Awesome stuff. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Demmel, for making time to chat with us and promote Category 7's up-and-coming self-titled album dropping July 26th of 2024 this year. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media, That Metal Interview, and check out our sister radio station, which celebrates album anniversaries and birthdays. Rock Metal, that is jrocksmetalzone.com, and on socials, of course, jrocks metal zone. On behalf of your friend James from the state of Texas, the planet Earth, don't forget to keep it metal.
That Metal Interview.